Got about 15 minutes after the top of the hour, and that means it's time for our guest. So excited to have this gentleman back. It's been a little while since he was here. I think about a little over a year. But so excited to have four-time Canadian Country Music Association nominee and six-time Saskatchewan County Music Association's Fan Choice Entertainer of the Year. Woo, woo, woo! Mr. Codie Prevost. Welcome back to the show, Codie.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for the great introduction, Casey. How are you?
I am awesome. I'm so excited we got hooked up and connected. I know when we chatted about a year or so ago, you were crazy with getting some music out at that point in time and kind of working on getting your name out there. But whatever you're doing seems to be working because you've got some notches in your belt now and you've got some more music on the way. Lots of things to talk about. But let's just back up for a second and give everybody a little 911 on who Codie Prevost, 411 on who Codie Prevost really is, where you hail from, and how you got into the country music industry.
For sure, Casey. So I basically grew up in a small town in Canada, a little place called Archerville, and I grew up on a farm, and my mom played a little bit of guitar. She knew 3 chords, and with those 3 chords, she could somehow play 20 songs. And, you know, the one thing that I always come back to is I remember being at a family reunion, and her and my uncle played as well. They pulled out the guitars, and I just remember watching them and watching the crowd around them and how as soon as they struck up a song on the guitar, it just brought joy to so many people. And I thought, you know, that's pretty cool how they can inspire and change the mood of a atmosphere with music. And I thought, you know, if I could do that with my life one day, that's what I'd love to do. So I picked up the guitar one day and started teaching myself to play. And one thing led to another and started learning all these songs. And I graduated from high school, and I knew that I wanted to pursue music. It's just no one else from my small town of Archerville was wanting to pursue music, so I really had no guidance to get into the business. So I basically went to college for a year, took an electronics technician program, and through that year, college ended up entering a few talent contests and ended up meeting a guy who started booking me some concerts on the weekend for $100 a night, playing with just me and my guitar in local bars. And nobody could say no because they'd sell 5 beers and the band was paid for. So did this for about a year and, you know, really worked up entertaining in front of a crowd with just my guitar and decided I really want to record some music. And I had a connection down in Nashville and I thought I really want to go to Nashville to do it. So I put together a business plan, a 5-year plan, and on there I had things like shoot music videos, be on tour with bigger bands, be nominated for country music awards. And at the time, like I said, I was playing for $100 a night in local bars. And one thing led to another, and I ended up going into the bank to try to get financing to be able to go to Nashville and record the album, but had no luck. And that's when I went in to see a group who funds rural businesses in Western Canada, and their name is Community Futures. And I sat down with the ladies there, showed them the plan, and they had me perform in a boardroom meeting. And it was a week after that meeting that I got a phone call that I was approved for that small business loan, which then enabled me to travel to Nashville and record my first CD. So in a nutshell, that's kind of where everything began.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, that's a lot in a very short period of time. Now, you had, the last time we were chatting, you had the album out, All Kinds of Crazy, and I remember playing some music from that and some of the songs from there, and everybody seemed to like it. I know I remember enjoying it. We've been playing some of your songs since. You've actually received some accolades on that, and I'm assuming that those were the kind of pinch me moments for you to recognize that you are on the right path and you picked the right thing to do when you've got some awards on your docket for that album there.
Well, thanks so much, first off, for your support, Casey. I just appreciate it so much. And yeah, like All Kinds of Crazy did incredible things for me as an artist. I had the opportunity to be nominated for a Canadian Country Music Award for Album of the Year, and I also had the privilege of being honored with a Western Canadian Music Award for the album. So that's as an independent artist. And, you know, that, I think for me, that was the coolest thing because, you know, it started with, you know, with my manager, Al, who I mentioned first off. He started booking me those early concerts. And we kind of worked from the ground up, and so to find ourselves at the award shows and in amongst all the people with labels, helping them and supporting them, it was just, you know, it's one of those pinch me moments where the hairs on your arms are standing up, and just some incredible things happened. And, you know, since then I've been working on my new album, and it's now finished, and I'm just, prepping to launch that in the new year, and I'm very excited for it. And it's just going to be a lot of new goals and a lot of new things happening again. So I think as an artist, that's the coolest part, is you're always evolving.
Yeah. Do you have a name for the new album, or is that still to be named, this fifth album that you're going to be putting out there?
Actually, the album does have a name. It's called Radio. And the story behind Radio, there is a song or two that pertain to the radio on the album, but the whole story behind the radio is radio's come to an interesting place today. You look at all the things that are happening on the internet with online radio. There's still mainstream radio. There's still radio, in your car. There's just all different aspects of radio. And I thought, how cool is that? Music kind of started with the radio when you were younger. And for me, that was driving in the tractor on the farm. All we got was AM radio. So I remember listening to the radio and being inspired by my first, country songs through there. And I just thought, there's so many memories to the radio, and I just wanted people to be able to take this album that's going to be out in the new year and make memories of their own with this album. So it's pretty exciting. And there's just some really cool things in the works.
You've had a pretty exciting year in your personal life as well. Family's getting a little bit bigger there. Excited about that there. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, for sure. So our first daughter was born in November of 2014, so she's going to be 3 this November. And we just had our second daughter born on May 27th of this year.
Congratulations.
So it's definitely, thank you, Casey. So I'm definitely outnumbered in the decision making in the house. But it's pretty cool. I wouldn't have it any other way. It's just, it's been a real blessing to, be able to be surrounded with some amazing girls there at home. And it makes you want to do even better to, to encourage them and to inspire them.
Until they hit about 16.
Well, people have been telling me that, but, it's hard to see that when you're in this stage.
Yeah. Oh, they'll be the star of your eye until they get into their tween or teen years, from what I understand. And then it's going to be, again, Daddy's going to have to be careful because they're going to be bringing home boys.
Yeah, I'll just take it one step at a time.
Good for you. That's probably the best way to do it. But congratulations to you and your wife, Ashley, on having another addition to the family. And I hope the girls don't gang up on you too much as they get older and sway Daddy too much, I'm sure. But
thank you, Casey.
You've had quite the ride in the last couple of years of some exciting things going on. Now you got this new album. You're saying it's going to be launched in early 2018?
Yeah, so it's going to be out early 2018, but for anybody who wants to get the album prior to everyone, I did start a new series called the Codie Prevost Diaries, and that's basically if you visit CodiePrevostmusic.com, so it's CodiePrevost music.com, you can join the Codie Prevost Diaries, and through that, you will get to hear more of the story of how I got started in the business and the story behind a bunch of my songs. And it's just more of a personal journey to get to know, to connect with the fans one-on-one. And also when you email through there, I direct response to all those emails. And you will be able to have access to the new album right now for anyone who signs up to the Codie Prevost Diaries.
Okay. So, have you written all the songs on the new album as well on the radio?
So I wrote them all except for 2 of the songs.
Okay.
And so it's, that's an exciting part for me too, as All Kinds of Crazy, I kind of stepped away from a lot of the writing. Like I did write a song called Someday and another couple on the album, but throughout something on this album, I just really wanted to get back to, when I first started recording, I mostly wrote all the songs, and so I just really wanted to get back to that. And so on this album, I achieved that, and just looking forward to it. So far, the response through the Codie Prevost Diaries has been great, and we've also had a few reviews on the album. So far, it's been really good reviews, so I'm just looking forward to getting it out to all the public in the new year.
Well, that's awesome. Well, listen, I think what we need to do is we're going to come back with that single. Tell us a little bit about that song, You Won't Sleep Tonight, which is the single off the brand new album, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I wrote the song with a good friend of mine. We write quite a few songs together down in Nashville. His name is Adam Wheeler. And the song was I said, as a musician and as a person, sometimes you can get into jobs or whatever you're doing and work away from home quite a bit. There's always this anticipation that builds, when you get away for 1 to 2 weeks to a month, there's always that anticipation that builds to get home and see your loved ones. And so You Won't Sleep Tonight was basically based on that. And it was funny because we released it in May, and that's right when my Everly was born. And so You Won't Sleep Tonight kind of took on a whole new meaning for me. But definitely was fitting, and definitely turned out great. And I'm so glad that I put the song on the new album that's coming out.
All right. Well, we're going to get a listen to that coming up. We got to take a quick break, pay some bills. Codie, can you hang in there for just a little bit?
Yeah, thanks, Casey.
All right. Well, we're going to be back with more Codie Prevost. We're going to talk to him a little bit more about the diaries and find out how you can track this guy down and get your hands on his new music. But we've got his single being released from the album that's coming out early 2018. The album itself is called Radio. The tune is You Won't Sleep Tonight by Codie Prevost, coming up right after the break. Don't go anywhere. Yeah, and we're going to continue chatting with Mr. Codie Prevost. Back there, you heard his brand new single that he's got on his new album that's going to be available coming up in early 2018, a little something called Radio. How many songs are on the new album, Codie?
There's 8 songs, Casey.
Okay. 8 songs, including the one that you heard back there, his single, little something, You Won't Sleep Tonight. Nice song. Really liked it. You have stuff that I think one of the things that you do is you make songs that people can really relate to. They're like down home. They can see themselves in the image or the picture or the story you're telling. And I think that's a trademark of a really good artist. You're not just writing songs for the sake of writing. You're telling stories that people can put themselves into. Are you finding that people are connecting with that particular song and some of your other ones that, really kind of hit home for some folks?
For sure. I think the coolest part about the whole process is that sometimes the ones that you really think are going to stand out, you get a totally different reaction when you release it to the public. I know when I released Someday, which is another song, but it's off my All Kinds of Crazy album. Mm-hmm. When I released Someday, we shot a music video for it, and the music video was based around domestic violence. But I remember releasing that song and releasing it to radio as well, and I just got a flood of emails and messages coming through Facebook and different places where people could message me of experiences that people had been through in their lives and how the song had helped them. And, until that point, I really didn't know the true power of music until I released that song and got all of those messages and emails coming in that I knew that, there is, music truly can break barriers and make a connection.
Yeah, it can span languages. You can go someplace where you may not be able to speak the language, but you start singing a song, and all of a sudden, everybody's singing the words with you, and they're getting it. They're getting it. You know what I mean? They're like making that connection. So it heals people. It brings people up. It's one of those things that really, really, actually is very powerful. And I think music really needs to be more of today's society as far as trying to make people feel better and not so angry all the time. You know what I mean?
But I'm with you there, Casey.
It's a crazy world out there. Tell us a little bit more about the Codie Prevost Diaries and exactly what that is and what people can expect if they become a part of it and check it out.
For sure. So basically the diaries, I probably started this only about 3 months ago, I would say. And basically the diaries are mini stories. Well, first of all, you sign up and you get 3 free songs of mine. If you haven't heard my music, you sign up and right away I send you 3 free songs. And then the day after that, I send you the first story. And basically it's mini stories of, I guess, my journey through music and how I got to this 5th album and different experiences that came along that path and just, things that people, I'm sure there's a lot of people who, watch the music award shows and watch, different things in the music industry, but they don't, a lot of times really see what's behind the scenes and what's happening to get to those points. And, there's a lot of fun stuff that happens in those early years when you're, doing that first album and doing those, sleeping on, in weird places because, you know what I mean, at the time it's all you can afford to do. And there's just a lot of cool experiences you have that I think a lot of people maybe don't share that I think are the coolest ones. So that's what I want to do with the diaries. And basically it's mini stories, and you know what I mean, they just keep coming, and as I go along, you know, I'll have new stories, and so it's just a progression through the years.
Nice. And how can people find that again? It's not on your regular Codie Prevost website. They have to go someplace special.
Well, that's right. But if you do go through the regular website, all you got to do is join the mailing list, and you'll as well join the diaries. But
okay.
You know, for anyone interested, you can go to Codie Prevost Music, so it's CodiePrevost music.com, and then just join there. You'll get the 3 free songs, you'll start getting the stories, and then you'll also get the opportunity to get the album, the new album, prior to it officially being released in January.
Awesome. You've actually been doing quite a bit of touring. Even you're Canadian, and you do some touring up there. You've been down to Nashville, done some stuff there, but you've had the opportunity to land on some other continents and do some music in other places, talking about taking that gap and taking that music and speaking to people in other countries. You want to tell us touch on that just a little bit?
Yeah, so in January of 2015, I got this crazy idea that I should go to Australia and sing for those folks. And I really didn't know how I was going to approach it, but all I knew is that I had one person that I graduated with in my small town that moved to Australia, and he was always into music. He was always DJing and playing drums in bands, and I just thought, well, maybe that friend wants to try booking concerts. So I had Facebooked him, and I said, his name is Ryan, and I said, hey, Ryan, would you be interested? I'm looking at coming down in January of 2015. This was probably, I would have been emailing him in June of 2014. And I said, I'd love to do some concerts there. You know, right now it's minus 35 here, so I was like, our winter is your summer, and it's you know, a great way to get away, but also I hear there's a lot of great country music there. And so Ryan said, you know, I've never done it, but I'll give it a shot, and I'll see where I can get to. And, you know, worst case scenario, nothing happens. But so lo and behold, a few months later, I kind of touched base again, and I was like, hey, where are you at with the shows? And he said, well, you know, I got 12, and I'm still working on some more. And by the time I went to Australia in January, I had 21 shows.
Wow.
In 22 days. So it was definitely a whirlwind first trip, but it was great. I went out, played the shows, and then I had a lawyer work on some visa paperwork with me, and he started a record label when I was over there. So I went in to thank him for helping me with the visa paperwork, and I just got learning about the record label he was starting, and ended up actually signing a deal with them, Keel Entertainment. And so since then, I've been back twice already, and looking to go back again in the new year for another tour with the new album.
Well, that's awesome. So Australia, I mean, I have artists. You're obviously from Canada. I have a ton that are from obviously the U.S., but I mean, I have them from Sweden and Ireland, and you know, over in London and stuff like that. And people might think, oh, you know, country music's probably not really that popular over there, but they'd be wrong, because it's really popular over there in a lot of those countries. I mean, country music's country music, and it speaks to everybody.
Well, and I think it's growing. I think there was, you know, this perception of country music, and not everybody's into the traditional style of country music. But what I'm seeing right now is there's like a lot of country music festivals where it doesn't matter if you're a country music fan or if you're, you know, but after you go to these festivals, I think a lot of people are converted because of the good time they have, but also because country music has evolved. Yes, you can still hear the traditional, but you can also hear stuff that sounds like Led Zeppelin. You know, like it's quite crazy the world we live in with the, you know, music genres just crossing over, and, you know, into one into the other, and the other into back into this one, and it's just it's quite, and I think a lot of that has to do with, you know, the radio. You know, everybody's getting influenced by the radio, but there's so many different radio aspects online. You know, Pandora, there's Spotify, and just people can get introduced to new music so many ways these days.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. And, you know, like you said, it can be everything from, you know, the Johnny Cash and the, you know, all the old traditional guys that are out there. But then I've heard, you know, rap, and I've Cyndi Lauper, and, you know,
Right.
there's a lot of them that you're like, who the hell's doing country now? It's like, it's the cool bandwagon. Everybody wants to jump on it and have a little piece of their country pie, you know?
Well, that's exactly it. You got it right, Casey.
That's kind of cool. So, you got a new album coming out in early 2018. Obviously, you talked about maybe doing this another tour over in Australia and stuff. What's some of the other plans for here, either closer to home? Are you going to be doing some stuff here in the States, or doing some stuff up there in Canada?
Yeah, I'm working on trying to find a booking agent in the U.S., Casey, so I can get over there. Because through Twitter and through the online world, I've had the privilege of finding so many new fans over in the USA. And, you know, there's definitely, I guess you could say, a little bit of a demand because of that for me to come and do some shows there. So I'm definitely looking into it. It was always kind of one of my goals to be able to tour more in the USA when I first started playing music, and so I definitely think, you know, with the 5th album, this is the time to make that happen. So I'll be definitely working on that. And there'll be obviously lots of shows in Canada and probably back to Australia, but definitely one of the main focused goals is finding that booking agent in the U.S. to be able to come over there and perform for you great people.
Yeah, well, if you happen to be in eastern side of PA, right down from Niagara Falls, just head south.
Yeah, sure I will.
You know, the doors to PPR is always open to all of my artists, so it would be fun to have you swing in and do a little impromptu too, so keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, I will.
So excited about the new album getting out there. How, you know, you mentioned already the social medias. Are you a big social media bug? What's some of the ways that people can reach out to you if they're interested in your music, or they want to know a little bit more, or find out where you're heading? What's some of the best ways to track you down, Codie?
Well, there's obviously the website, and there's going to be a brand new website right away, and that's CodiePrevost.com, just CODIE, or EVOST.com, and right away I just had a new website done, so it'll be getting launched here probably within the next week. That's probably the best way, because on there, then you can branch out if you want to see the videos, if you want to go to Facebook, if you want, you know, you can get it all from right there. So, and then there's also, if you want the music, obviously it's available on iTunes, on Spotify, but if you want to come to the Codie Prevost Diaries, just join my mailing list, and you'll get to be a part of the Codie Prevost Diaries and get the inside stories of where my career began. So that's basically the ways to get a hold of me. Okay,
all right. And they can find you on the social medias, the Facebook, the Twitter, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, all those avenues, and also on YouTube if they want to see all the videos.
That's awesome. You have something, a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge you can kind of let us in on a little bit of something that might be in the works for, other than the album for 2018? You got something? I mean, I know everybody's like, well, I can't say anything, but, you know, a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge, maybe?
Actually, there is something really exciting happening. I'm just currently working on my first ever fan club, so that's going to be launching probably within the next couple months.
Awesome.
And so that's going to be a place where it's going to have some pretty cool stuff, like more personal stuff, more ways to get connected. There's, you know, going to be a lot of neat exclusive stuff. So it's definitely exciting. I've never had a fan club before, and I got some of the best supporters and the best fans, and I just really wanted a place for them to be able to go, and we'll be able to chat in there and do that stuff. Also, you know, I do my Tuesday night Twitter party. It's the first Tuesday of every month. And basically what you do is just log on to Twitter, type in the search box, hashtag Codie Prevost, and then it's from 8 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. And you can come on there and we can chat for an hour the first Tuesday of every month.
Wow, awesome. So you're definitely one of those people who like to stay connected to your fans.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty cool because it's almost like you get to know everybody individually, and you get to kind of keep track of what they're up to, and I don't know, to me it's pretty fun.
You got some fun things going on there. You've got the Codie Prevost Diaries going on. You've got the Twitter party. You're going to have a fan club launching here shortly. People can check it out. New music coming down the pike. Possibly doing some touring here in the States. You're a busy guy. You're a busy guy, Codie.
Yeah, and then 2 young girls.
Who are also probably going to keep you on your toes quite the bit. But looking like things are doing pretty good for you. We already heard the tune from the new album, Radio. You Won't Sleep Tonight. If you guys missed it, you want to check back and listen in on Sunday. We're going to close the show out with one of your tunes from your earlier album. The one that was released just a little while ago, All Kinds of Crazy. We've got a song we're going to come up and play at the end of the show to remind everybody that if they missed the interview, and that's called Someday. But we got another one here that we're going to play to kind of get everybody back into the sound of Codie Prevost and excited about checking out all these new things that are coming down the pike. A little something called Down the Line, a little refresher of what that one's about, Codie.
Yeah, for sure. So this song, this was one of the outside songs, but one of the coolest parts of this song is the video that we did with it, and it's on YouTube. You guys can go on, check it out. It's called Down the Line. But it's about a lady who has a child, and she loses her husband, and she, contemplates giving the child up for adoption because she's not sure if she'll be able to care for it, the full, you know what I mean? And so at the end of the video, you'll see she has the baby, and when they bring the baby to her, that's actually our first baby girl who was born in November.
Wow.
And her name is Lyric, so she got to be in her first music video before she could walk or talk. So it's, you know what I mean? It's pretty cool, and it's, I don't know, I just really love this song, and I was pretty happy that I got to record it.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we're going to play that coming up right in just a minute, but Codie, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Looking forward to maybe having you back in 2018 when you get that new album released, get some more of that music out for you, find out where you're heading to and how your tours are going on, along with that fan club when that gets launched and stuff. So keep us in mind when you want to make another new announcement. We'd love to be able to share it with all of your friends and family and your fans. So, head down to PA, stop in, say hi to us. But I wish you the best of luck with everything. I think you're definitely on the right path. You got a lot of things going on, and it's exciting.
Thank you, Casey. I appreciate this so much.
No problem. You want to go ahead and announce your song, and we'll get this one rolling for everybody.
Yeah, so this is a song off my All Kinds of Crazy album. This one's called Down the Line.